So I want you to know that we do have some resources to help parents when they're dealing with challenging behavior.
Okay.
And you wouldn't believe how common this is, that kids kind of fall into these patterns, pushing limits, and sometimes it gets worse and worse. But we have tools to help kids learn different ways of dealing with these tough moments. And it all starts with the way that we, of course, as the adults, deal with the tough moments.
Yes.
So I have this handout. This is from a set of programs called FAST, First Approach Skills Training. And they have these snapshots that are just one page front and back to give you a little idea of what the content is like. And then I can share the link to the full program if this looks like something that'd be interesting to you.
Great.
So, it starts out here talking about, when is this behavior actually a problem I need some help with? Where do these behaviors come from? And this talks about how our kids come with their own temperament and personality, but they also have different abilities developing at different rates because, their brain development doesn't happen in one really even sequence. So you see with Thomas, I think, that his self-control skills are not coming online as quickly as maybe his intelligence and his athletic skills and things like that. And we factor in things like the fact that there are a lot of ADHD symptoms that we talked about and we looked at on the Vanderbilt rating scale. And then, of course, the way that we parent and stressful things and life changes come into the picture too. And so what happens sometimes are patterns like this one here, where my child pushes back so much, and I feel so punished by their behavior that I maybe kind of let go of some of my limits, or I give in, or maybe I get really harsh and I try to be strict, and that feels like a backfire. Right. But sometimes it gets us out of the crisis, and so it happens more and more. Mm-hmm. Do you relate to that? It's kind of a pattern happening?
Yes, this is me and my husband too.
Oh gosh, yeah. And of course, parents are going to have different styles that you're each bringing to the table.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's a little quiz here with some of the traps that we all fall in as parents, right? That we start focusing more on the things we don't like because they're bothering us and they're creating an issue. Giving the same lectures over and over, or just kind of shutting down because we don't have anything left. Mm-hmm. Some of those sound familiar, maybe.
It definitely depends on the day.
Yes, right. But yeah, that's something you and your husband could talk through together even.
Okay.
And then the backside is more action steps and things to try. So the first thing it talks about here is thinking about the behaviors you want to see. Because so often we're thinking about the problem behaviors, we're sort of we're saying a lot of stop doing that, or why are you acting like this, instead of letting them know what we want to see. So there's a place here to write in, what exactly do we want to see from Thomas, like really specifically. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if you have any ideas about that. What are some behaviors you want to be seeing?
I would love him to listen the first time when I ask him to do something.
Great.
Or to get started and stay on track when I have to go get his sister ready.
Oh my gosh. So listening and responding when you give an instruction the first time.
Yeah.
And then getting started. Sometimes that transition is hard for kids, right?
Yeah.
They kind of push back.
He's gonna veer away or argue just to stop what he's doing and move on to something else.
Makes sense. So you want him to get started and then stay on task.
Yes.
So part of that, right, is him being really clear on the steps and what's expected in that moment. Mm-hmm. So those are great, perfect. That's exactly the kind of goals that they're talking about here. And then picking, what are the things that naturally motivate Thomas, things that he gets excited about? How do we kind of build that into the routine or build it into tasks that he hates doing? Like he hates brushing his teeth. Can we kind of stagger some of those rewards or privileges with the boring things? Like what does he love? What gets him excited?
He loves being in control. So like being the one to pick out the book that we read, picking out what he wears to bed as well.
So having a say in things. So
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I mean, that might be one of your go-to tools here, is building in options. Like, would you rather get in your pajamas first or brush your teeth first, right? But at the same time, we then want to give less attention to the things that he's doing to sort of push buttons or get a reaction, right?
Okay.
So there's some examples here. Are there any of these whining, arguing, complaining, annoying noises, any of those that you feel like you could stop reacting to?
All of those are happening, and I definitely call out all of those.
Sure, of course, because they're making the evening really difficult.
Yes.
And we maybe want to choose not the hardest one. Like if he's arguing, that's challenging to ignore. We want to get there maybe.
Right.
But could we ignore maybe to start complaining?
Yes.
Which
yeah.
maybe isn't as triggering.
Yes, that, or some of the silly noises that he makes, I'm already trying to ignore those. So helpful reminder.
He has quite the charming personality, so I can imagine he gets really creative with how he entertains you instead of being on task.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That's great. And then here's some more strategies, like spending one-on-one time. He likes to be in control. So this is going to be powerful currency for him, getting to choose an activity for you guys for just 10 minutes. Commenting on all the good things, because it's so easy to comment on the negative. And then, I think importantly, the most powerful tool that we have is the way that we maintain control of ourselves in the situation.
Right.
Of course, we're human, we've got our feelings, but as much as we can model the type of coping that we want to see from them, then they kind of learn alongside us, if that makes sense. Yeah, so I'm going to give this to you, and you can see that there's a place right here to scan their videos. There's a set of 11 little short videos. They're all like 2 to 5 minutes, and there's a workbook you can download that goes with it, that goes into a lot more depth on these ideas and kind of gives you a place to start.
Great, I can show my husband after this visit.
It's a good way to get multiple caregivers on the same page too. Yeah, you can just say, this is what they gave me at the doctor's office, and we got to look at it.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, any concerns, comments?
No,
thoughts?
it's helpful to have something to bring home to keep top of mind for all this.
Great, wonderful. Well, I'll be looking forward to following up with you guys and finding out how it's going, and if at that point you think things are still really not going well, it's not getting better, maybe we can talk about finding a professional that can work with you guys to
Great.
try to support Thomas and support you guys in parenting him.
Okay, thank you.
All right.